Hey everyone, coming at you with the Magician of Chaos oriented deck, and I'd say that it does pretty well. I don't think that it's that great against metal foes. You can destroy their cards before they destroy their own cards. Like let's say they use their pendulum effect to destroy a card to get a card, right? Well, you can also just destroy that card, or you can destroy the card that's activating the effect so it doesn't get its effect off, actually. Huh. Anyway, with the Magician of Chaos. But yeah, Magician of Chaos is the main monster, and Chaos Dragon is the backup. It's like if they're dealing with your Magician of Chaos by sending him back into the hand, then you just summon Chaos Max instead. I had to do that against a Yosenju deck. I think it was Yosenju anyway. It was the one where they just like they all go back to the hand at the in the end phase. Yosenju, Yosenki. Anyway, but yeah. So let's see here. Mostly wins. Let's see how many wins I got. Like what? 8, 10, 12, 13, and then loses would be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, the reason why it's winning more than it's losing is because I'm actually not like getting any metal foes and megalith players. I'm pretty sure that the reason for that is just because it's so late into the event now. Like all the metal foes and megalith players, they already got their 10k points and they dipped. You know what I mean? Or they just now they're playing other decks. So there's that. And like I would face like a cheese deck. I would still face against like the one where it uses something leak or something, leak or light. Anyway, let's go into explaining how the deck works. Magician's Rod, okay. It's actually priority is chaos form if for first turn. So first turn priority is chaos form if you do not have a ritual spell in hand for cards like Bookstone and Candle, and you need it, right? So that's what he's there for. And then his second priority is Eternal Soul, and you do want to recycle him back into your hand, and that's what Clara and Rishka is for. But this only works for the second turn plus, not the first turn, because you can't go into main phase 2 on the first turn. Let's see, and then you want these two in your hand over Candle and Talismandra, because you want to special summon Candle and Talismandra from the deck to activate their effects to search for this ritual spell or the ritual monster that you need. Usually I'm just going for Talismandra though, but I'm not always gonna get Inception first turn, so I do want Candle first turn as well, from the deck, not from in the hand. And then so like that's why you would want to open up with these two instead, or one of these two anyway. Chaos Sorcerer I tried to use, but unfortunately, apparently it can get pretty situational. Like you're not often gonna get Pencil Plume or Candle. Apparently, like the two times that I could have used him is like I kept only having use for dark monsters. Like that's pretty unfortunate. Like I have 9 monsters that I could be sending to the graveyard and set, and somehow I couldn't get Chaos Sorcerer out. Weird. Anyway, it was just situational though, whatever. But yeah, and then you already know what this guy does, and yeah, so these guys you want to special summon in the deck, these guys you want to open up with. It's not often that you'll be needing these two for their ladder effect, which is just to get a ritual spell from the graveyard or a ritual monster from the graveyard. But Bookstone can be good for fodder for Magician's Rod. If you can leave him on the field and you're activating a spell or trap card on your opponent's turn. Let's see what else. So yeah, you know what this guy does. You special summon him by banishing a dark and light, and you can banish any card. Oh no, sorry, you can banish a face-up monster on the field. Okay. And then there's Magician of Chaos, which is the most flexible of the deck, really. So anytime a spell trap card effect or is activated. So anytime they're activated or their effect is activated, you get to destroy any card on the field. It's an omni field destruction, and yeah, so like only monster effects would be a counter to this guy. It's like if there's a monster effect that destroys him or a monster effect that gets over his attack, and they don't activate any spell track cards, then I don't have any spell track cards to activate on their turn, then I'm pretty much screwed. Anyway, but yeah, that. So yeah, like I only run one mystical space typhoon because he can destroy spell and track cards himself, and I find that that's good enough. But so far I've been trying to use Dimensional Fissure and it hasn't been working out really. But yeah, Chaos Sorcerer, Dimensional Fissure, they can be replaced, honestly. And Curse Seal, the forbidden spell. So you would want to use this on Mystical Space Typhoon or Forbidden Chalice, usually. You know, those are the staple cards, right? And you don't want them to destroy your Eternal Soul. But I haven't really seen much use of this, honestly. But, you know, the times when I can use it is like when they don't have anything for me to use against. Yeah, that's just, you know, situational stuff. But yeah, because you can recycle Incantation Inception a lot of the times. That's why this card can be pretty good. Yeah, you have Forbidden Chalice and Mystical Space Typhoon to use on your opponent's turn. You have Eternal Soul to use on your opponent's turn. And this one, well, if they have a spell card to use it against that you would like to use it against, then yeah. Of course, it's if you don't have a spell card in hand, then you're kind of screwed. So you kind of have to, like, for example, keep a Forbidden Chalice in hand. It's like, oh man, which is more worth it, destroying keeping your opponent from ever activating a spell card of the same name again, or negating a monster effect. You know, it's just depending on what their deck is, and you may not know until it's too late, you know, because that first turn can be pretty brutal still, even in an NR festival, honestly. But yeah, like if you have Eternal Soul, you definitely want to keep Forbidden Chalice in hand for Curse Seal, because usually it's going to be a spell card which is Mystical Space Typhoon to destroy. Oh man, I had this really unfortunate duel where they had 2 Mystical Space Typhoons in hand, and I had 2 Eternal Souls. I destroyed both Eternal Souls, and I didn't have this to do anything about it. You know, like, it was just like if they didn't have those 2 Mystical Space Typhoons, I would have won that duel. All right, let's just say that. I think it was this one, this Tri Brigade one. Or maybe it wasn't actually. No, it wasn't that. It wasn't the Tri Brigade one. It was maybe not this one either. Sorry, that one was a win. I think it was this one. No, wait, no. I lost this one. Okay. Ancient Warriors, I think it can work against. I just had to learn how that deck works, really. Man, which one was the one that I lost to? Well, whatever. Anyway, maybe we'll just go into a duel. All right, this is a Yosenju Kaiju hybrid deck. I'd say that they would have been pretty good, but yeah, let's go into it. All right, 2 Eternal Souls. Well, this was probably that deck that had 2 mystical space typhoons. Apparently, I won this one. I didn't think that'd be the case, but I did. Anyway, and this was a brick hand too. I'll have to say that actually this deck doesn't brick too often. And I'm very surprised by that, considering the cards that are like, there are some cards that will cause it to brick, but whatever. Anyway, it doesn't matter that these get banished, so what does matter is that Incantation Inception does not get banished. Okay, he's mystical space typhoons, like fuck you. Anyway, but yeah, at least I get rid of Dimensional Fissure. Hold on. Oh, alright, that's right. Because of me not using Eternal Soul, my Dark Magician, my Magician of Chaos did not get destroyed, so instead he tributed it for a Kaiju. It's a good thing I didn't use it either, because he would have Kaiju'd my Blue Eyes Chaos Dragon. Oh, here's a good one. The one time I get to use this card properly. Send a candle. And then get a monster. Now this is the juicy bit. Summon Magician of Chaos. Activate effect. And then as a result of activating the spell effect, I get to activate Magician of Chaos's effect. That's a combo, but yeah, he got this Yosenju. Honestly, I didn't know he had Yosenju, so like, it's unfortunate what happened. Now apparently I could use Chaos Form here if I wanted to, because I had a Dark Magician in the graveyard. In quotations, Dark Magician. But I decided not to use Chaos Form for that reason. Instead, I decided to just use my Blue Eyes Chaos Dragon in hand. Now this was really dumb of the guy. I don't know if he was like trying to target Chaos Dragon, but you know, he gave me back my incantation, Taos Mantra, and I cannot complain. What happened there? Did he negate? He used Forbidden Chalice on his own Yosenju, so that he could keep it on the field. That's very sad. Either way, though, yeah. So Dimensional Fissure wouldn't have been useful against that deck, but I could use Dimensional Fissure as a spell card to activate for Magician of Chaos. But so far I've not went plus with Dimensional Fissure. I've actually went minus the 2 times that I've used it, and that's because of using it incorrectly, because I didn't understand the opponent's deck. Okay, so this one is Psy-Frame Iron Chain kind of hybrid deck. And I faced a more pure Psy-Frame deck and lost to it, but uh, I didn't have to lose against it though. In all honesty, I'll tell you why though, because this guy's going to kind of do the same thing, but not really. I get Eternal Soul to like activate on their turn, if I needed to. Okay, so here it is. So he activates this field spell, right? Activate Dark Magician to, sorry, Chaos Magician of Chaos to destroy it. And if he was the pure Cypher player and he could have a Cyframe in hand that would negate the destruction. Now, that one pure Cyframe deck, I had Mystical Space Typhoon, okay, and I used it wrong. I could have done it this way. I could have summoned Magician of Chaos, and then I can activate Mystical Space Typhoon to destroy the Cyframe circuit, and then he would activate the Cyframe in hand to destroy to negate the effect, but I can still destroy the field spell using Magician of Chaos's effect. Now, whether I can chain that is another question. But either way, though, yeah. Anyway, I was just seeing if I could like get it to be unaffected, and he still ended up equipping anyway. So that was pretty awkward. In the end, it kind of just didn't matter. He throws my Magician's Rod, that's fine. By the way, I don't have any light monster in the graveyard, so I couldn't use Chaos Sorcerer. Gets rid of Eternal Soul, but, you know, I'll get rid of something as well. So that's the use of Magician of Chaos in its own right. Yeah, because Iron Chain Snake, it has my monster has to be destroyed by battle, but he was destroyed by card effect, so it didn't activate the effect to mill my deck really, or whatever. At this point, I don't think that he could do anything. Yeah. Well, that just explains itself. I mean, it's not like that really did anything much worthy, but, you know. I don't know what he had set down, but he clearly didn't have anything more. Alright, here's a Kaiju Hippo Carnival Cheese OTK deck. Has Gravity Bind, by the way. It's gonna be an interesting duel to show off, you know, how good the Magician of Chaos can be. Yeah, like, in a way, Magician of Chaos is an anti-cheese deck. This one was very unfortunate for him. Like, thanks. I didn't need it, but thanks. Yeah. Just gonna spoil it now. He had 2 Gravity Binds. Well, yeah, as you can see, I can consistently get out Magician of Chaos and have Blue Eyes Chaos Dragon in hand. I think one mistake I made was not keeping a spell card in hand. I'm not sure. Like, I have the Curse Seal, the Forbidden spell. So does that mean that he just activated Hippo Carnival there? I think he did. Okay, so this one, he could have Bottomless Trap hold my Magician of Chaos. I think that would have been the better play. But yeah, I guess maybe he just didn't understand how this deck worked. But he could have he could have done it to Magician of Chaos. But of course he would pop something before he's gone, and I would get Blue Eyes Chaos Dragon out. But you know, I have so much plus because of his Cup of Ace, so it's really a luck thing. Could have went either way. Okay, so yeah, he didn't use another spell card. So yeah, I'm just like, you know, getting fodder or whatever. Okay, so here was the problem. See, it's then that he uses it, and then like, you know, I don't have a spell in hand. That's that in a way that was a misplay of mine, cause if I really wanted to, I could have used Magician's Rod to get Chaos Form, but instead I mean I feel like I would have went for Eternal Soul anyway. And here we go for Pentastag. Now it would have been better to put it on Blue Eyes Chaos Dragon, but I wasn't. I wasn't sure how it actually worked, like, at the time. Like, it's just a monster that's linked to this, so it's like, oh, Pentastag and Blue Eyes Chaos Dragon can inflict damage, you know? Yeah, so another thing is that, as you can see, I couldn't activate both Magician of Chaos's effects at the same time. Only one can activate, because once one of them activates, then basically the second one misses his timing, because he needs to activate his effect right when the spell or trap effect or card activates. So I had to do them separately. But you know, at least I can do them. Also, I could, if I had another like card to act, if I had another spell or trap card to activate, Magician of Chaos could have gotten his effect a third time because he just came back onto the field. So as a result, I get to destroy card. What is this? Okay, Torrential Tribute, doesn't matter. The only thing he could have destroyed was Pentastag, but like Pentastag was definitely useful. Cycle to Infinite Track. Really good stuff. Activate Eternal Soul to bring back Magician of Chaos. Oh yeah, it's like so good that that Pentastag is linked to Infinite Track. Honestly, in hindsight, I should have went for a Chaos Form, but like, because like Chaos Form is just for, you know, the trap card, right? But yeah, this was a really great game. Like so much plus off of Eternal Soul, really. So yeah, going back into the deck list, you know, Chaos Sorcerer and Dimensional Fisher are optional. You can replace them with like Mystical Space Typhoon because like, why not have another spell card to activate on your opponent's turn, right? Like in the end, you do have about 7 options, but you could have more. You know what I mean? Dimensional Fissure isn't really necessary, but it does shut down metal foes and megaliths. So there is that. If they ever come back, then you can just put more of these in. Just like I would just put. I used to have 2 Forbidden Chalices and 2 Dimensional Fissures, and I feel like that's really enough. Especially since they can become dead cards, or at least Dimensional Fissure can become a dead card if you get 2 of them in a way. But also Dimensional Fissure can be like used as a fodder in a way, like as a target for their Mystical Space Typhoon, because then they would use it on Dimensional Fissure instead of Eternal Soul, for example. But that's just, again, situational and depend on deck, but whatever. And then another thing is that these don't actually matter, these strength 3s and 4s, because it would require like having 2 of this out or 2 of this out, and like they were just there for the sake of just being there, just in case I ever get the rare chance of having 2 of these or 2 of that, but it's never really gonna happen. But Infinitrack, you know, you saw, and then Harmonizer, maybe one day. Jargluon doesn't really matter. The real good one is Draglubian. Draglubian. And you already know about how it goes. You go into Hard Arth with Draglubian, and Draglubian can't be targeted, which is really nice. And then you have Pentastag, and then Clara is for Magician's Rod. And then you have Cross Sheep. I never really used it though, but it'll probably have a time where it'll be used. And if it does, it's like, oh, ritual summon on its, or like a special summon a ritual. You get to draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards. Like maybe you get to choose, you know? Either way though, Geoneer Transverser. Now this has had a use. I could have OTK'd a guy with this. It was a Time Lord deck. I had one chance, just one chance to do it, and I blew it, and I messed it up. Basically, what I did was I would go into Geoneer Transverser. Now, obviously, you know, these guys will prevent you from using your extra deck, so you gotta make sure that there's none of these guys on your field. But basically, how it goes is I use 2 cards, 2 monsters, then I'll probably even use Magician of Chaos. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, I use I use 2 monsters to summon Geoneer Transverser, and then I would activate Incantation Inception from the graveyard, and I can special summon any incantation onto the field. I just put them in I had to special summon them in attack position, and you know, they would always put the Time Lords on the middle, so it was fine. I would use Geoneer Transverser on the left side, and I would put the Pencil Plume on the left side. I think I went for a Pencil Plume anyway. It can be any one of them. They all have 0 attack anyway. And then I would just switch them over, and then I could have OTK'd from there, because then I would then use their Time Lord and Geoneer Transverser to make the Berserker of the Tenyi. And then I had Magician of Chaos and Blue Eyes Chaos Dragon on the field. And so that would have been game right there. They had 8,000 life points too. So like 8,500 right there. But I special summoned the incantation in defense mode by habit, but also because I never really used Geoneer Transverser, in all honesty. That was my first time using it, or like properly, I guess, I don't know, or like in this deck. So that's why I want to tell you how this works, you know what I mean? It's like I don't want you to make the same mistake as I did, you know, habitually summoning the incantation in defense position. Now you gotta summon it in attack position and on the left side. out of the way though. There you go. You know, it has options, and I've given you all the, or most of the uses and examples that I use it for. Now it's up to you whether you can make it better. Have fun dueling. Sorry for the video being so long. I just wanted to like show off everything, or like a lot of things really, and talk about the stories of the other duels I've had, so that you have a better idea of how to use the deck against certain decks, right? All right. See you.